All right. Are we good? We're like most of the way there. It's probably some random thing that just does not work. As always. Let's go ahead and open a new thing. Select. Ooh, it's there already. Good deal. Okay, we'll start with this. We have a Model Y that we're going to be doing. Everything's like really all set to go. Door panels are covered. Dash is almost covered. Some stuff has been removed. And by some stuff, I mean literally one thing in the back that you'll see. It's just the lower cover. We got some films. We got some chats. Good morning. Audio problems were caught ahead of time, which is the most fun. Because I knew it. I was like, something's going to bug out. And I found it. I found it. Shoot. Whoa. Usually I have to push the button. Okay, we gotta change cut blade to this one because we're doing Apex. Special blade. Put that one in. Yeah, it's being funny already. That's what I thought. All right, let's turn it off. Let's give it an old restart. I used Tint slip and it was really sticky. Okay. There's two sides to every slip solution / window / film. If you just take your slip solution and you just spray it on the window, you want to pay attention for how it lays. So this is just a bottle of soapy water. I'm going to let this swap out. And then I'll explain a little bit more. Let's start getting a window cut and change conditions. That's what we need. Enter condition 2. That looks normal. Blade is changed. Then we're going to vehicles, search, Tesla, Model Y, and then we click on that and go to cutboard, put this one in. Ooh, now on my last one I extended it. I'm gonna just start with the same thing and we'll see. What is that? Easy edit. Click on this and then we're gonna extend it about that far. Apply, and then we're gonna cut it. Should be good. Okay, now I got a bottle of regular water. No soap. Just for the example. Good morning. So I'm gonna clear out what's in here. But with whatever slip solution that you're using, you wanna make sure that the slip solution doesn't do this. See how that's just beading off the window, where this half is then sheeting. So even slip solution clinging to the glass, that is just falling off the window. Like there's a coating there. So if I ever see that happen, you can try and add more soap to compensate for that, so you get even more soap to cling to the window. Or you can use a torch, and then you just hit the surface of the inside with it, and your slip solution will then stick better. Okay, we have a pattern. Let's make sure our settings are good. I'm always nervous of that. Swap the blade. Yeah, more slip, or you torch it. But what I find is cars just act differently. All glass is not the same. So a lot of people are going to say, ooh, that was nice. A lot of people are just going to say there's some sort of hydrophobic coating there. I find it weird that the outsides of most windows that I tint would have a hydrophobic coating, but the inside would. Or the outside doesn't have a hydrophobic coating when the inside would. I don't think customers are going out of their way to put hydrophobic coatings. I think it's just something that naturally builds up on the window. Oils and schmutz and whatever. It's weird that you can't just scrape it. But yeah, the simplest fix seems to be a torch. Ooh, we gotta trigger these. Let's do that. Do you have to be careful with the felt edge tint tool? Or did I just press too hard? The felt edge tint tool. What are you talking about? When you're shrinking? This one, funny enough, actually does have some hydrophobic coating on the outside of it. So let me see where our default pattern sits. Oh yeah, that's far down. I extended it, I didn't need to. But I want to recut this top edge anyways. So we're gonna put it about where we want it. Slide it over. Right about there. That's all nice. That's pretty good. I might actually try to not extend the other one. That lines up pretty good. Top edge knife. Let's go ahead and trim this. Lovely. I damaged my tint with one of those felt cloth squeegees. Yeah, you can damage it with any. When you're learning how to shrink, a lot of little things play into it. So just because it's a felt doesn't mean that it's not going to hurt the tint. When you crease it, though, that's typically because you smushed film together when you should have shrank a little bit more. So at our classes, we actually show people both a harder style card like this one that still has the felt there. Oh, it's a suede, but that still has this there. Gives it a little bit of cushion, but also adds a little bit of stiffness behind it. And then it just depends on how hard people actually push. Some people are just very gentle and they're scared of hurting the tint. And unironically, that can actually cause you to damage it. Where's my black pack of blades? Here's some more. That's what I'm looking for. So what new people often miss about shrinking is watching for patterns. When you're shrinking, they're either too aggressive with the card and pushing film down way too early before it shrunk, which is where you usually get creases. Or the alternative is they baby the film way too much and then overheat certain spots. So then you have these really long, harsh tension lines running through the film. One of the best things that you can do is just force yourself to heat the film until you can identify shrinking patterns. So you just heat it up a little bit and wait and then look at it and go, should I shrink this more or should I push this down? And if you go, I'm not sure, wait till we get to shrinking this windshield and I'll give a refresher, but we have so many examples of how much to shrink a window before you press it down. You're always looking for these little, see, this is a finger, I want to shrink this. If I put heat on it, I'm waiting for it to do this, make that pattern, little air pockets that go sideways, little ocean waves. This is gonna look a little different because it's wet shrinking a door window though. How do you determine the price per vehicle? Man, you know, that's been one of the most frustrating things about business in general, is like, how do you determine the price of fucking anything? There's generally some type of, my shrinking card. There's generally some type of market range, higher, lower. There's always anomalies and outliers. But it would be helpful to maybe get some quotes in your area and kind of see where other people are at. And then you get a baseline. For what people are charging in your area. It's going to be very hard in any type of market. You know, if you're like 100% more expensive than everybody else around you. Unless there's something about your business that brings people to you and just completely has a complete different customer base. Like imagine you start going to clinics, skincare, skin cancer, eye doctors, and you start getting clients referred more around that rather than somebody that's just looking to tint their car. That would be an example of like a completely different customer base. They're getting the same product, but you've gotten those customers completely differently from anybody else. So if you're just putting up ads, you're going to get the average. Yeah, there is a lot of curve on the Model Y. I've seen a few alternates to shrinking these, which I thought was pretty cool. Somebody did a dry shrink on a Model Y. Why is this like this? I thought I just smoothed it out. Why is it all wobbly at the top here? This. I couldn't tell you. I thought I smoothed this out. Let me try one more time. Goofy. Why did it do that? I genuinely don't know. We will find out. Take the top edge knife. Leave it over the edge some. Cut a sliver off. Right? Did I go in a time capsule? Okay, now that looks really good. Why that didn't do that before, I don't know. What's your best advice on putting taillight tint? That's out of my skill set. I got some good advice from people, but I never really took it on as a service. Taillight tint is a wrapping skill and a complex one, which is why I don't really do it. A lot of people will seam or inlay. Is that what it's called? Inlay? So when you have like a big connecting piece like this, they'll tackle it in a couple different sections. Oh, I couldn't tell you how I would do that one. I wouldn't do that one. Sorry, I wish I could be better help. Thank you for taking the time to answer anyways. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, headlights and taillights, they can be so exaggerated. And it was one of those services that I hardly got asked about. Asked. So I didn't really ever feel like worth it, like it was worth the $250 that most, if anybody, would charge. If I was gonna do taillights, I'd take on a few more other things. Honestly, I think a hood in most cases is simpler than taillights. Unless they're just like, again, really easy. But like the hood of this, for example, I feel like would be easier than the taillights would be. Ooh, that's nice. That did turn out good. Which I'd hope so. But we don't want to speak too soon yet. Our Tesla is one of the more difficult cars. There's definitely things about them. Like the Model Y doors, yes, they're frameless, but they're just more curved. So it's getting a nice clean cut all the way around. And then the other thing, like that part isn't necessarily that difficult, but trying to get both your edges to line up really nicely. So with that curve, and then on top of it, they're laminated. See that? So the outside, see, look at this. If we look right at the corner there, the inside glass is in a different spot than the outside. So getting your cuts right just to get those lined up as neatly as possible. It can be a little tricky. Shrinking them, they're a little bit more curved. And then if you don't remove the seal, tucking them in, it's a little tighter at the bottom. Seen some remove the door card. Are you against that? I don't like to remove what I don't have to. I just like leaving things, this is just personal choice. I like leaving things as is, as much as I can. So when something gets in the way and it makes the job dramatically more difficult, then it's well worth removing. But if it only makes the install like slightly easier, then I'm just gonna leave it. So this is 20 on the front. Let's take a meter and 17. So the back actually meters quite a bit lighter. So if you're just throwing 20% on the front to match, that's gonna be way too dark. So on the rear, I'm gonna meter what a 50% is gonna look like, and then the next step down is a 40%. So I'm gonna see what this looks like first. No, don't give me the battery notice. That's so annoying. Changing the batteries on these things is stupid. Oops, we gotta do this. And then let it calibrate 100, and let's just be quick. So that's 15 versus 27. And then this is 17. 50 is going to be the closest thing that we get. It's going to darken up just enough. He went with Apex on this. This all the way around with the windshield is 650. So let's cut out the other side here. Vehicles. Let's grab this. Now I extended it. I'm going to do the same thing again. And then I'm probably going to trim off the top. I like how that's going. It's not saving me that much time. I have sound deadening in the doors for speakers and plan on removing the glass. Would it be easier to tint the glass out of the door? Good question. Yes. But the only funny thing about doing that is if you leave your glass sitting like flat or even like tilted a little bit on a table, you can clean it off 100 times and it seems like it turns out dirtier. Windows turn out much cleaner if they're propped upright. So figure out a way to do that, or tint them when the paneling is removed and the windows are still like in the window on the frame. Either or. It's just such a goofy thing. I can't tell you how many times I've tinted and like cleaned and re-cleaned, and then you just peel the tint, you stick it on, and the film is laying flat on a table. And then you're just like, where did all these specks come from? It's hard to explain. Tint is just touchy. This guy is super slow. I know, we're going very slow today. No land speed records were set today. Model S. Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I did a few of those when they were pretty new. Did they ever update those much? Other than like the obvious things? Oh no, it slid. Quality matters. Quality matters. Oh, I guess it did matter making this pattern a little bit bigger. What are you using for streaming? A phone. Yeah, I like this. I get a trade in. I've had a Model 3. I get a trade in my lease. I'm gonna lease another one. Model Y though. 25 Model S Plaid has everything except touchless entry. Touchless entry. Oh, is that the door like kicks itself open? Do they do that? Mark, did you talk to that guy on Friday? For Tintly? He was having issues with his account.
Oh no, he still hasn't responded to me. I asked him what I messaged him earlier in the day
Yeah.
and was like, yeah, if you received it, let me give you a heads up on what's actually going on. He never said anything to me, never reached out to me, never sent me a link. So I can still
No, it's not. It's not urgent. I just wondered if like what problem he was having. I know you said you had a meeting with him, but people, whatever it is about software and people just not being available. I need help. Okay, I'll help you. Whew. Gone. I'm surprised you working on Easter Monday. Is that a thing? Easter Monday? Yeah, I don't know. I've always worked the next day. It's kind of like presidential holidays too. It's like we're generally just open for those. Isn't the post office open today? Actually, that's a good question. Did they come by and pick those up yet? Post office? Oh. I wonder if they're closed today.
day after Easter?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll look at that. Wow,
What?
Google says yes, the post office is open Friday, April 3rd. I asked if the post office was open today.
Oh, today, Friday. Sometimes they're closed on weird days, and you're just like, wait, is that today? Okay. Easter April. We're closed for Easter April. We're closed for Easter Christmas. All right. This one is already. What time is it? Oh, yeah, because it's almost 12 and our post office guy hasn't come yet. Real men just work. Most auto companies that I've worked at were just always open. Labor Day just meant more labor.
Does sending a quote not show up in the inbox as like a sent message?
It should be a pill.
There's a pill on the inbox thread that says quote sent, but the actual thread itself doesn't show. I'm gonna log out and log back in. 'Cause that's all funny.
Oh, I think it like if you generate a quote, I think that
Oh, there it is. Quote created.
yeah, that part.
Doesn't show up right away. I just refresh.
Why do you rub the razor blade on the window? For good luck. Now, what I like to see. Come on. Okay, why are you doing this? Stop it. Just, there we go. That's what we want. Be free. It's touching that seal, and then it's just freezing. That's a good reason to remove the seal. They did that all the time. I'd definitely remove them. There we go. Got it. Is it still worth it to have a dyed film as an option? Yes. Yes and no. It depends on if it works for you. See, there's still plenty of people that are just buying tint. So it depends on like where you fall in your area, where you want to price things. I do see a lot more people just blindly asking for ceramic. They don't know what they're buying. They have no idea that there's a quality difference. They just see ceramic and, oh, I saw videos and people talking about it or whatever. I heard about it and I want that. And it's like, okay, we definitely have it. Then they hear a price and they're wondering why it's expensive. Like, your ceramic is this price. This other guy's doing ceramic for $200. What gives? So that kind of stuff is really annoying. What's the benefit of ceramic versus others? So it's really not even just ceramic. It's just having a nice grade of film. If you have a ceramic film that was really cheap, it shows. It's not as clear. It could fail earlier. And they're generally really hazy. So it looks fine inside of a garage, and then you pull it outside in direct sunlight, and then all your windows fog up or haze up, and that never goes away. It's really hard to see out of them. But it's ceramic. But people go on and on about ceramic and blah, 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 blah. The main difference between a ceramic film and a carbon film and a dyed film is going to be the amount of heat that they block. So ceramic blocks a lot of heat and it can be very clear. Carbon can block a lot of heat. Not quite as much as ceramic in most cases, but you need the film. Ooh, we don't want that. We want this one. There we go. Carbon will block heat in the darker shades. So mainly 5. 5's gonna come close to like where ceramics are. Ceramic will block a lot of heat in any of the shades. And the dyed film doesn't block heat much of anywhere. I put 3M ceramic in my car in 2014. It's still perfect in South Florida. Well worth the cost. Nice, very nice. That's another thing. It's like it doesn't have to be ceramic, but if you're just going with a better film, it's gonna last longer. So that's the real problem is you save a little bit of money initially on tinting your windows in a lesser film. And sure, you might not care about the performance of it. Like, that's perfectly fine. But cheaping out on if that film is going to last is where it comes back to bite you. You can just put a cheap film on your car, and then it bubbles, fades, or distorts inside of a year. Well, then you have to remove it, and whoever's removing it is charging almost as much as another car. Removals are not quick, they're not cheap. Tinting a car that's not tinted can be cheap. But you just want to make sure whatever you're getting on your car is actually going to last, or it's just going to cost you more money. I know I'm the most expensive with 4 competitors. I only offer ceramic, haven't tinted an older vehicle or a vehicle older than 2015 in years. Nice. And that does work for some people. So what's nice about tinting is like you don't have like there's no set rules on how to run your business. It's all subjective. It's all like whatever works best for you or how you want to run a business. There's good practices and bad practices, sure. Yeah, if money is not an option, ceramic is always the best. You get the most performance out of it. Just make sure whatever ceramic that you're going with wasn't the cheapest option, is usually how you avoid getting a really bad film. Because if everybody is, or a lot of people are in a particular range, and then somebody's like, yeah, I can do it for $200, and everybody else is like 400 plus, then you're like, that might not be the best. Where do you think Lumar and Suntech sit in 2026? I don't know why people would go with Suntech. They're not they're not very cheap. And you're not really get the branding of Lumar. Lumar's just got a more reputable brand. They're just more known. So I think Lumar is still one of the most mentioned film brands. There's just some areas where they are super oversaturated and not worth it. And I think that goes for a lot of big name, expensive brands. It's like you want to make sure that the brand is actually working for you, not just something that you're paying for to give you like better peace of mind. So if I have film A and film B and I try both of them and I can't really tell a difference between the films, but one film is 50% more expensive than the other, well, now I'm weighing if that cost is worth using that brand. That's why I like Geo. Geo's not a super well-known brand, not in window film. They're better known than they were 5 years ago, for sure. They don't have a bad reputation, but XPEL is just going to command a higher price on average. But again, there's still people that are going to be installing XPEL that are giving it away. Just because they have it doesn't mean that it's working for them. It just means that they're spending a lot more on a film. So if I was in an area and I quoted somebody a film price, and we're basically like equal, and one of them was XPEL and the other one was GeoShield, if that customer is going to do a little bit of research or did before, they would probably be more likely to then go with XPEL over Geo, just purely on name, brand, and presence. But if they're giving it away at the same price, that XPEL dealer is losing because they could have just saved on film costs. So it just depends on the business. I used XPEL when I first started, but I switched to Lumar for shrinking ability. IRX, their IR ceramic is $250 a square foot. Been thinking of switching, not sure. Try something else. See how you like it. That's really the biggest question. I don't have anything against the big film brands. I don't like some of the things that they've done. But it just comes down to like a business preference. If you think that they're going to help your business, then use them. We're spoiled for choice now. There's a lot of good film brands that don't have that high of a price. It's a branding game. For some businesses, branding matters a lot, and for other ones, dude, your customers have no idea, or they take your word for it. You're just like, oh, okay, you got this film, cool. Is it good? And yes. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Like they're buying you. Brands can help. But they don't make or break your business. I just see a lot of people that will get a film brand like that. And then like, okay, so you're spending X amount more on a particular film. If it makes you sleep at night, then sure. But if you're just losing margin on paying for the brand for no real reason, then like, what's the point? Create your own brand is what my ceramic coating trainer taught me. I think that can work well. Again, it just kind of depends on the business. There's so many ceramic coatings, probably more than window film. So many detailing products, then it just confuses the whole market, and then it's like they're really all the same. But I think a smarter customer can just kind of see through that, or it just might not matter to them. So if I'm Joe's Detailing, and I only install Joe's Detailing ceramic coating products, and my shop just kind of looks like, meh, like it's okay. Like, your angle would probably be, we're able to bring you a better price because we've basically gone straight to a manufacturer and we've cut out the middleman. And now it's kind of a selling feature. But let's say the same customer lived 40, 50 miles away. Do you think they drive that far or they go to somebody else? How do you tackle the great Ford windshields with the crappy rearview mirror? I have a few tools that I've tried. I haven't used a single thing that's been a surefire way. I genuinely think some of those Ford mirrors are clamped so tight that there's really nothing that you can do. Like, no amount of pressure on that clip is gonna make it go down any farther because it's already like super compressed and it just snags on that mirror tab. Where other ones have a little bit of wiggle room, so when you push down on that spring clip, you can actually see it move. So I don't think there's ever a surefire solution for the Ford mirrors. I just think there's a few things that you can try, and it's worth trying, but definitely not worth potentially breaking it, so be careful. 'Cause anything that I've seen, it's either like a clamp, which I think is the best approach, or something that puts pressure on the glass, which will absolutely crack the glass at some point. I've seen the amount of like cracked windshield videos that we've seen and things I've seen in person. There's some stuff that you can try, but nothing's a guaranteed fix. Any idea why Lumar rolls their film reversed? Makes it super curly. Dude, I think Lumar just has a thing with their film that makes it super curly. I don't think it's because it's rolled backwards. Some rolls are super curly and some aren't. That's what I mean when I say like you aren't necessarily getting a better film by going with the top brands. You're just getting overall, should be getting a really good film. But that static curl shit, that drove me crazy with some brands. Would run into it from time to time with Lumar and ASWF. You go to peel a liner and it just rolls in on itself. It's like God, that got so annoying. I have no idea why they do it opposite though. I think it's just really dumb. When it's in a box, especially if you're mobile, as soon as you take it off the rollers, that's just scratching up the film inside the box. I think it makes more sense the other way around. Maybe it would take them an extra step to wind it the other way, and so they were already set up to have it rolled the way it is. I have no idea. What? You're the legendary revolution in premium tinting technology. Line this up. PPF? No, not right now. Oops. Okay, that's really pinch tight. There we go. I've learned more about tinting listening to you than Google could ever teach me. Appreciate it. What if I learned all I knew from Google? My, how the turntables. I feel like you gotta have a very clean environment for no dust to do this correctly. It's really wind. There's definitely something to like, there's things floating in the air. You will get something in your film. Having a cleaner environment always helps. But the best thing is to keep like airflow down. So I tinted in a lot of pretty ugly places. And I'm not saying my windows were perfect, but we did really good work out of some of those places. Like one of them was where they made speaker boxes. So cutting, sanding, all that kinds of stuff. That wasn't going on at the same time we were tinting. But when you peel a window and it's not stuck on the window yet, that's when dirt can get introduced. It's the exposure. So until then, things can float around. But you wanna, here, I jump to the inside. I clean it off, spray. Now it's clock's ticking, go to the outside, peel, stick to the inside. Then anything else can happen around you. But that little time in between cleaning the inside, peeling the window is when something can stick to the film. What percentage? Where's my other meter? Is it up here? Yes, it is. There it is. Let's check it. So the back is 14. And the front is going to be just a smidge lighter. 18. It's really close. It's like close enough to not really be able to tell a difference between the two. So we did a 50 over the rear and then a 20 on the front. So the back metered at 27. So we had to darken it up a little bit. Back glass, quarters. Everything all set. Let's cut. What time is it? 12? Nice. How much is it all around on a coupe? Without the windshield, $299. With the front windshield, $450. Yeah, 50 over the rear is great. If you're tinting over factory and you don't want to bring it down to just limo, I think the best options are a 50 or a 35. 50, 40, 35. Really, really nice. A 35 is going to give you like a 10%. It's going to be a little bit darker, but there's what, this gets a little annoying and confusing. There's what the meter actually tells you, and then the actual look. Damn, bro, just the windshield 150? Yeah. I don't want to do them for less than that. Doing a windshield on $100 is like, it's definitely a nice add-on. It's, if I have a problem with that windshield, that's what that extra 50 is for. If I was trying to get more windshields, I would just do them at 100. But windshields are the biggest piece for a couple of reasons. One, it's the biggest piece. And two, it's the biggest piece. Like POS. Windshields can be really frustrating. You can just go through everything and then have a very small imperfection and then have to redo it because it's just in the wrong place. I did graphics and tint on 2 Durangos for local PD, 5% over factory and 15 on the front. Stupid dark. Oh yeah, 5 over the back. That's really dark. Did you cut out the lights? I've done some police vehicles, and we always had to cut out the lights. One of our mobile accounts was trying to think of the name. It's where they outfit all the at the time they were doing Explorers. They just had a company had an account with the police department, and just all day you have techs in there just stripping everything down and wiring up all the police equipment. How much do you charge for a truck windshield? $150. The only thing I might... No, I'm not going to say that right now. Oh, a Subaru windshield with all the front cameras? You have, like... Subaru's the only weird manufacturer out of all of them. They are very particular about those collision avoidance. They want the best. They want to be known for the best, safest collision avoidance system. So they don't want you to put anything on the windshields. So just keep that in mind. If the system has a space, like in between, if it's mounted on like the headliner and doesn't have an immediate housing that like connects to the glass, I wouldn't tint it at all. without bringing it to the customer's attention. Like, you need a very clear cutout window for the film. So on most vehicles, this Tesla included, they put a housing around everything that's looking through the windshield, and so we just go around that. That way we know the tint is not affecting that system at all. But Subaru is one of those companies that does their systems a little bit differently. I haven't seen the brand new Crosstracks, but I would just look at what the system's doing. A lot of the eyesight systems have been mounted on the headliners and have like this big airspace and no housing. It's just basically like a camera looking thing that goes forward, and you could stick your hand in front of it if you wanted to. So if they're not enclosed, I wouldn't guess where that cutout should be. I would just let a customer know, like, hey, I'll put a light film on it. I can't guarantee your system's gonna work the same way. Does your fingerprint show up in the tint when you're grabbing the peeled side? No. I try to never grab the adhesive anywhere that actually would show. So on the doors, I didn't grab the ends like at all. And if you do, just make sure they're rinsed off. Oh, there's a super chat. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate that. As long as you keep your fingertips clean, you can grab the adhesive. You just got to be really careful about it. Sometimes you can get little speckles from it, but I try to just scoop the doors, and when I'm actually handling it and moving it, my hand is still on the tint side. There's always something that felt like, oh, I can't touch the adhesive ever. It's not true, you can. Just rinse your fingertips off. Does a heat gun have to be full blast or like in the middle? It depends on the heat gun. But I turn every heat gun as high as it'll go. This is Apex, by the way, so this one shrinks a little bit slower. But I can control the heat with speed and distance. It's like cooking. Like, how hot do I have to leave the pan for the food to cook? It's like I could leave it on a medium heat, but I can still burn it on a medium heat. So tint's the same way. It'll just shrink slower, but you can burn it on anything. So even if it's low, eventually it's gonna burn. I burned the film and burned my friend's door paneling while practicing. Oof. Now we get to see what kind of friend you really have. I love the way Apex feels, very sturdy film. Yeah, it's a 2 mil. Pro Nano's the same way. Very thick, rigid. Some good and bad about it. Does the tint have to dry before using the doors? No, it helps though. And it really depends on the film that you're using and the adhesive. So not all tint is made the same. So that loose rule of leave your windows up for like 3 days in the summertime. Some shops will just be like, no, you can roll them down immediately. Oh, I bumped it. If the film just has a lighter adhesive to it, then there's going to be a higher chance that it's going to peel if it's brushing up against the seal. Oh, this probably thinks that it's closed. Wake up, Tesla. There we go. We're going to cover some stuff up in the back. Been there, melted a seal. I've definitely melted some stuff before. What do you think is better, Pro Nano or Apex? Apex is better. The only spot where Pro Nano is actually better is 70%. Gasp, the crowd went. Spec for spec, Apex is definitely better. But if you go 70%, for whatever reason, Apex is a little bit weaker than the 70%. But I know why. Pro Nano 70 used to be called Pro Nano Ultra, and it was separate from the rest of Pro Nano. But that was confusing. It was like, hey, I'm looking for 70%. Why doesn't Pro Nano have it? It's like, oh, they do. It's just called Pro Nano Ultra. What's Pro Nano Ultra? And it's like, well, it's just 70. Why? So it became a really annoying thing to explain, so they just brought it inside the Pro Nano family as far as naming went. But historically, across a lot of film companies, and I don't really know why this is the case, but they would have at least one or two very light film options. A 70, an 80, sometimes a 90. Like Lumar has their Air 80 series. I think Air 80 and Air 90. And they're a little blue. But they wouldn't have darker offerings for those shades. So Pro Nano 70 Ultra is just one of those where it was separate. It was a really light, better ceramic than the rest of the Pro Nano lineup. But for all of those that are in the know, when you're buying ceramic and you're trying to decide between, or you're thinking about getting Apex 70, just get Pro Nano instead. You'll save a couple $100, and it'll be a little bit better. Just an old film quirk. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I got my covers. Let me get those. I read NASA uses Pro Nano. I've lived this live stream before. This was the same conversation that we had last week while I was doing a Model Y. Is this Groundhog Day? Today's the day after Easter, right? We're not coming into Easter week, right? Really, I had that exact same comment last week. It might have been from you. Maybe you're in Groundhog Day. It's not. We have the recording. You can go listen to it. Okay, so that's covered. That's shrunk, ready to be installed. So let's do it. What's a good starter plotter? Marketplace. The workhorse ones slash US cutter, like the Titan series, they're all kind of the same. They're vinyl machines. I think it's worth it to get a machine that's a little bit better. But the workhorse machines are still they're gonna cut fine. It's not really about that. It's more the little features that come along with it. So something off a marketplace, I think, is a little bit better. It'll be used, but you can find really good machines that are secondhand on marketplace. Wow, they don't really give us much space up here, do they? They use the Titan 3. Yep, Titan 3 is fine. Discord limit who uses their program. They limit it to window tinting businesses. You don't have to use Eastman Films to use Core. The day they do that will be the day I stop recommending it, which I know they're not going to care about. But plotter's such a frustrating topic. If I thought there was a better value software out there, there's one that is definitely cheaper, but I hate all the patterns. Core's not perfect, but they've definitely been really, really good overall. How do you deal with the sideways fingers when shrinking? You direct them. You are the conductor. You just point them up. Would you collab with BuffX? Who's BuffX? I don't know. I don't see why not, but I just don't know him. Car wrap company in Detroit? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Slide it up just a little bit more, see where we're at. Slide it back down. Tinting yesterday, I kept messing up on the side edge cuts, shifting the film 1/2 inch to each side. Any thoughts on what I could do? Shifting the film 1/2 inch to each side. I kept messing up on the side cuts. Did you ever anchor your film? So when you go to make a cut, you can pull on the film unintentionally, and that causes it to drag out of place. Like, we're using soapy water. So something you can do right before you make your cut is put it where you need it to be and tack the film in place. Make your cut, and then it won't move. Then when you need to shift it back over in the other direction, pull the film back a little bit, spray some water behind it, get it to loosen back up, slide it where you need to be, and then you can just tack it again. Hang on. There we go. Yes, I found that the front edge was super close to the mirror. Does it have like a plastic edge near the mirror? We have a few cars that we use in our classes, an Altima and a Maxima. Some cars just do that. Those ones in particular have like hard plastic edges, but there's other cars that are definitely kind of like in that list, where it's not just like a straight rubber seal. It's a hard plastic edge. In that case, you don't have to cut the entire thing. And a lot of edges, you don't need to do the entire edge. Yeah, I was doing an E90 Beamer. I never know exactly what that is when somebody starts spitting out model numbers like that. I know year ranges and series a little bit better. Okay, we can use this one. So I got the top edge of my window. Oh, that's super clean. And then I got my front edge. And then I got my back edge. And then I got the bottom edge of the window. So if this is right next to a mirror, I don't necessarily need to, I should have made this 10 times bigger. I don't need to cut all the way from the top to the bottom. I could just make a little incision, just like a mark, or even use a marker, like a Sharpie, and mark where that edge is. And that way I can cut it like on a glass board or somewhere that's gonna be much easier. Somewhere where I can get it away from the mirror, but I know where I need to cut. A helpful video is like if you look up how to cut window, like a door window with a Sharpie, the same principles for that. You don't have to do every part of it with a Sharpie, but you can draw where that front edge is, so you know where you need to make your cut. Okay. We got to do the quarters. Okay, I know they fold down. Do they have like the thing in the way? Or is it like a button? Can somebody tell me really quick? How do you put down the rear seats on the Model Y? A lot of them have just like the pull latch right here. I know somebody smarter than me knows though. Save the biggest window for last. Oh yeah, we usually do the windshields last. Fold them. I know, I was going to. But where do they put the latch on them? I got towels on the screen, so I will do that. Oh, there they are. Thank you. Perfect. Appreciate you. Ash to stream. Yeah, that's what I did. That was really straightforward. I just didn't know that they put a button there for them. There's been so many newer, weird, quirky things that automakers keep doing to cars. The way that each one of them shifts or go into the screen for certain things that you wouldn't think of is becoming more and more. We just had a Telluride in here. That thing was goofy. Looked super cool. Shifting was super goofy. Do the Hyundai backseat test. What's the backseat test? You know, it's hard to put your head down when you get a phone in the way. There we go. Get that on the window. Ta-da. Google it when you get a chance. It's nothing gross, but I guess Hyundai's Palisades having issues with non-manual back seats. Interesting. Where's my good squeegee? I got this one. See, I've been showing comparisons between all the different squeegee blades, so now I'm misplacing where like my good wax orange one is. I have two of them sitting inside of a reach around. Where's... I don't know where they are. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to do this one. We'll go... Ooh, I like the color. Trash compactor in kids? Holy shit, really? That's wild. Okay, film. So we're doing a 40% on this windshield, 20 on the front doors, 50 on the back, and 40 on the windshield. 40's gonna look good. I feel like the 40 is more of like directly in between 50 and 35. It's even though it's closer to 35, I feel like when you actually see it, Jesus, that's crazy. But that's one of those engineering things that you don't really think of until it's out there and you're like, oh, crap. Okay, there's that. And then film rolls over there. I'm gonna take a random towel. I don't know where my other foot pad went. I guess we'll do this. This is an old seat cover. These ones don't stick that well. This is one of the first seat covers that I ever tried. They work okay. They don't stick as well, though. How often do those odd ones sell? Not that often. Can be worth having, though. I find it really matters with how you talk about film. And more so when somebody had tint done with you. So this customer had 50 on the windshield and 35 on the front doors. And then they're like, I did it to be a little bit safer, but I just want to go darker on the front doors. And then so they had 50 on the windshield. And they're like, I really like it overall, but I have white seats. And then so we have 40 on our van. And I felt the same way. I'm like, if it's a bigger, larger windshield, I think having a slightly darker shade on it makes a lot of sense to really give you the look that you're going for. So we went with a 40. But to simplify your inventory a little bit more, it's more of a I have inventory, and carrying these extra percentages is like, it's no big deal. But they're not gonna move near as fast as the other ones. They're just really good for certain situations. Is there a way to stop the window from rolling down when opening? No. No, that's just how they are. And it's perfectly fine that they roll up and down. It doesn't hurt anything. There's always a chance that, like, I don't know, it just depends on how you install and what film that you use. Ow, I think I got cut on the ceramic. That's silly. I got a small garage like when you first started. Oh, cool. Yeah, you don't need the in-between shades. It's like I said, it's purely because it's more of a convenience and to your customers, and just because you can have the opposite effect. Some customers can get stuck on trying to decide between 15 and 20 for way too long, and it just doesn't matter. You know? So like you can have that effect with it. I'm gonna take off my tool belt. There we go. Okay, so when it comes to shrinking, I haven't touched this with a card yet other than to just organize it. I heat up the film until I see our little wave shrinking pattern. If I don't see it, I don't push the film down. But these are really big vertical fingers, and then I have these little waves, right? Those get pushed forward, and I don't push any farther than what I see. So I still got a little wave here. That's it. The rest is just these big, looser fingers. So you gotta force yourself to just heat the film until you can identify when those are popping up. But look, I shrink the film some. Is that it? No. Maybe this one a little bit. That one could be. But this, no, no. We shrink more. Put some more heat. How about now? It's close, but it's still kind of muddy. Like it's kind of in between. Let's add some more heat. Now, see that? See how it's more of a clear wave? Just give it time. Now we can push it down. We don't push it very far. Ta-da! Now we have film to shrink again. And it's just that over and over and over and over and over and over. So a lot of people get used to shrinking by time. So if I shrunk the film up here after a couple seconds, then down here, put the heat gun for the same amount of time, okay, I shrunk it some and then I push it down. No, that's where you get into a problem. This is a spot that I can push forward. And then everything after that is pretty muddy. This is a sideways one. This kind of works. That wouldn't hurt. And then I just keep going. Does that make sense? Heat, 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 heat. Keep the heat moving. Okay, so I heated it up quite a bit. And I still have these things that are kind of like popping upwards. And like I see a little bit. But it's just, I would consider this more muddy. Where it's not totally sideways. And not totally vertical. It's kind of in between. We heated up a little bit more. And now we're seeing a lot more wave. Using cheap film, this won't work. These still go with the same rules. But there's with films there's a range. So this is a lot of heat, and this would be on the low, and this would be on the high side. I don't know exactly how much heat that is, but with some films, like this would be too little, this would be too much. But let's say a film, if I put some heat, and it still starts showing me that it's shrinking, and then I put a lot of heat and it's shrinking really fast. But some films are like this, where you just need more heat to get it started, and then if you add too much heat, they'll burn faster. So all films, we're gonna stick to the same type of rules. Like, they're all gonna take heat to shrink. They're all gonna be up and down. We don't shrink out the sides. But what your flexibility on heat range is gonna be different. Some films can take a little bit more heat. Some films will shrink down a little bit faster. GeoShield had a temporary film. They introduced it and then they pulled it back. Nanocarbon, I think is what they called it. They were testing out a different platform. So it's from a completely different supplier. They had a film range, or a film made, and they were experimenting with a new platform. Especially because we're hearing all types of things on tariffs and whatnot, and the last thing that they want is no products available for their customers. GeoShield's always been one of those scrappy film companies that likes to use the best of any manufacturer, so they don't own the manufacturing themselves. They work with manufacturers. So they're testing out a different platform, and the heat range on it was just like, if my heat gun's here and this film is shrinking, I just had to hold it there or put more heat and get the heat gun closer for it to start shrinking. So that doesn't mean that, oh, that's a ceramic film that's going to be easy, or that's a cheap film so that's going to be harder. It just means that particular film is quirky. This is Apex. Apex moves a little bit slower. And then we have to, once we shrink on it, we got to let it cool down a little bit before we press it. But same thing, looking for that pattern. So when I see those waves, I can push it forward. As soon as I stop seeing those waves, I don't press that down. That wouldn't press down. I got to put some more heat on it. Right at the edge there. Good. Let's go to the other side. I did a side window 8 times. Kept burning. I hated that film. ATC. ATC? Oh, ATC shrinks fast. If you ask me, like, what was one of the best shrinking films, I would have to try it again. ATC was one of the first films I ever used. Actually, sorry, the first film I've ever used. Not one. I didn't have a sample. It's just the shop. Actually, it might have been AT. and then it was ATC. When I was new, I would cut windshields and back windows. I didn't really do windshields at the time. Windshields were very unpopular. When I was new, I would cut the film basically exact and then shrink it. I actually don't even remember when I started doing things differently. Probably when we got a different film. But it could be a window as curvy as this, and I would still cut it exact first. I don't know why I did. I just did. But I could shrink ATC right up to the edge without burning it on a window like this. And then I wouldn't have to cut it afterwards. But it really didn't make any sense. Because, like, you're going to exact trim it anyway, so. There's definitely videos with it. So I really haven't pushed it with a card yet. See? Express window films was kicking my butt. I ordered a roll of the stuff you recommended off Amazon. Interesting. Express. Express is global, isn't it? As far as I know, they're a global distributor. So you see, we got all these nice little waves. We don't have any big fingers except for when we start getting towards the bottom, we see a few towards the edges. But this all can be pushed forward. And whenever I'm pushing waves forward, put some pretty direct pressure, scoot them. Just up till where you shrunk last. So now we're starting to see it kind of bunch up. So that's going to require some more heat. Does it matter what brand of heat gun that you use? No. But the Wagner's, I mean, yes and no. You can get a really poor heat gun that just doesn't put out very much heat. These little Wagners are like $30. God, I remember when they used to be 20. They put out a lot of heat. So these ones, or the Craftsman / Porter cable, those are both really good budget heat guns. So I don't know. I've tried, like, AutoZone had a bright green heat gun, and I picked that one up, and I've picked up a lot of other heat guns. You can get some cheap heat guns that just absolutely suck. I seen my family's cars with Amazon tint when I was starting, and now the tint is all blue, and the other cars turned brown. What film did you get? Do you remember? And how long has it been sitting? It's just one of those things. This is just a lesson for brand new people or people that think they're all the same. It's like you don't know what films are for sure gonna fail, but there's definitely indicators that, like, this probably is sketchy. You might find a gem that was just not very expensive, that lasts forever. But the thing is, you don't know where it comes from, and you don't know if it's really gonna last until you put it on something. So generally what we find is when you have a cheap film, it's cheap because it was made with shitty shit. or cheaper shit, right? It had to have been, or else it wouldn't exist. They have to make money off of it. Cool. This is good. So, ways that window film can fail is it can change color, it can bubble, it can just adhesive failure, start distorting, change colors. Like, there's a bunch of ways that it can fail. So any number of those things can just let go. This looks similar to putting race car wraps on. Yes and no. It's a film. You take heat guns. With wraps, you're going to do a lot more stretching and stuff. Window tint is going to be a wet application. Just for the people that are like, know a bit of both. But yeah. There's going to be some like tool slash it's a film similarity. Okay, now I'm just cutting on the white line. This keeps the blade off the window. Some things are similar and some things are different. Yeah, if you've never had your hand in either one of them, yes, there's going to be some similarities. But when you actually start installing them and using them, they're very, very different. Was able to buy Lexan 50%, and that one held up really well until I decided to go darker on the windshield. Nice. If 50% lasted, I would expect shades in the other range, or in the same lineup, to do pretty well. There's a lot of people doing Lexan / Tinix / UV run. And either they're just not posting, which I doubt it, but we don't see any just dramatic film failures with that brand. What I personally saw was more haze. I'd much rather wrap than tint. Your job isn't ruined if you get a hair under the wrap. True. Very true. What kills me on wraps is full vehicle wraps. There's so many just little parts and things. So, like, I felt the same way about paint protection film. If I did, like, a front ends were fine. I'm just not a fan of front bumpers, but that depended on the vehicle. But we had one job that was, like, the full thing, end to end. Ugh, fuck that. I tell customers the hair is free. I know, right? It's just free extra. We don't charge you for those little speckles over there. I have a full vehicle wrap, but it's on a race car. So you judge the quality at like 100 miles an hour when it goes by. If they can see an imperfection at 100 miles an hour, then it's like, all right, yep, that can get redone. Is Union any good? I haven't heard personally any bad things about their films. I don't know really much about their films. I don't know where they come from. It's a carbon / ceramic, so a lot of those come from like South Korea. I hear good things from people. And they're a cool company. They're doing our ads. After I started tinting, I upped my prices on wrap because of how much more money I was making just tint and faster. Yeah. Again, turnaround time. Like if you're charging, I don't know what a standard wrap goes for, but let's say you charged $5,000 for like a full vehicle wrap, but it took you a week. What you have in time and materials is like you can just make more money faster doing tint sometimes, but again, it just depends on again where you're at and your skill level. That's why a lot of people turn to PPF as well. PPF is just naturally a higher ticket. And you can still have fast turnaround. When we had a trainer out here, he was like, don't do full, do front ends all day, $2,500, and ignore everything else. And he's like, that's where you're gonna make the bulk of your money. I could do a front end for $2,500 in probably like 5 or 6 hours. He was really skilled. He'd been doing it for a while, but that's gonna be more than window tinting for sure. Why put clear on the front windshield? This, just to be clear, is 40%. But clear is still really cool because you can keep, oh God, there's too many puns. You can keep your car cooler with a light film. So window film can block out heat. So some people do it for privacy, some people do it for heat, and some people do it for both. Ta-da! We did both today. We did a rope and a towel. So I'll use a towel first. I took it all the way into the front edge. And then if I've got space, I have a gap here, I'll shove in a towel or the rope on top of the towel. That helps keep the towel compressed. So it's easier to get the film where you need it. But as soon as both of them get in the way, it makes way more sense to just use at least the towel. One o'clock. Wonder if it's on the other table. No. Might be on my table. I feel like I saw it today. Oh yeah, there it is. This one. So it's tinted. I live in Oregon. I don't think it's legal to tint the front windshield here. I'm not 100% sure. They're really strict on how dark the sides can be. Yeah, just look up your local state laws. And there is definitely what are the social norms. If you just live in an area where they're super strict, they're going to be strict. There's definitely states and areas of certain states that are just very lax about it. If a car battery is in the back, you might want to cover the battery with a towel. Ask me how I know. It even triggered the check engine light. Yikes. Yup. Definitely got to keep stuff covered. Back windows aren't just like free and clear to never cover up. We generally don't have to put much down, but that's not to say you're never going to have an issue. Oh, it's up here. Why didn't I see this? This was sitting... Oh, and the other ones. I'm smart. Where did you get your large glass for prepped? I looked everywhere. Oh, this you're just going to have somebody cut for you. So reach out to a glass company. So, like, if you're getting your home remodeled or whatever, it's the same. It's a big piece of tempered glass. It's the same type of glass that they would have in, like, a custom shower or hotel or something like that. Just sliding glass barn door. Both pieces, it was $2,500 together. That was a definite because we could type of thing. Where's my sprayers? On the other side. Mainly work on Teslas, and I'm enjoying the stream. One good upsell I've had success with who booked tint jobs is tinted PPF on the daytime running lights. Oh yeah, that's cool. GeoShield was the... I don't know if they still are. But GeoShield was a PPF tint supplier to Tesla. I just haven't asked them if they still currently are. But you could order those running lights pre-cut directly from Tesla, and it was GeoShield. But now with their relationship with Expo, I don't know if that's still the case. So the only reason it was, yeah, the expense on the sliding glass barn door, it's such a big piece of glass that has holes in it, it had to be tempered. Big tempered glass has to be thicker, and that makes it more expensive. You can have a large piece of like plate glass for cheaper, but you won't be putting any holes or hanging it from something. It's just more fragile. Tempered makes everything a little bit better. Have you visited GeoShield HQ? I have. They had a flat glass event in Louisiana, and I was there. Did a little speaking. It was cool to visit. Still would like to go out to the Vegas place eventually. They're on the Speedway. But they don't really show anything over there. Maybe they will eventually. Okay, so we're gonna give this one more sweep. I'm gonna get one more tool, and then I'm gonna pop this back too, just a little bit. There we go. Freed that up so I could get around it a little bit better. And then I'm gonna grab the Slim Slam. Not that one. Boy, that was stuck in there. Ooh, where's my gel? Okay, there's my gel. All right, let's sweep this off and get this in. Recording yourself doing illegal shit. Tinting a windshield in Michigan is actually just not flat out illegal. Tinting a windshield is not illegal. It'd be driving on a road without a doctor's note. Some states are cool with medical exemptions, some aren't. Talking in chat makes you so much better than silence. Oh, I used to be on the phone a lot when I worked. Not as much lately with podcasts. I love listening to marketing and businessy podcasts and stuff just associated with local businesses and camera shit and learning whatever I could. I always have something that I'm working on. So I always liked when I could listen and learn at the same time. Just seems risky. First video that we posted was in 2011. Lost both my Slim Slams? What? Oh, did you leave them in somebody's car? Let's go to the other side, peel that. Nice garage setup, thank you. Spray this side. You're just laying vinyl? Yes. Clear windshield vinyl. Free shipping is over 500.
Yeah, she's got like 700 in her car.
With tools, and it should still be free. Just tint, it should still be free, yeah. Unless it's going somewhere unique.
Oh, where is it going to? Oh, she's in Florida. No, we're fine.
Yeah, Florida should be normal. I'll never possess the patience that you need for it. Dude, I feel that way about so many other things. But yeah, tint is an incredibly frustrating thing. If I was learning it at this point, if I already had a skill, I wouldn't be tinting. Shipping issues, that's never good. Did it show free shipping on the test cart that you did?
Yeah, it shows free here. I got $921 I'll try it because she said she was at like 700, so I'll see if I can. Okay.
Yeah, if it's just a regular place in Florida. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll try and give you guys a better view. Okay. Make sure I got my sprayer. And then this mirror gets in the way an annoying amount. Any mirror like this really does get in the way. You have to go around the whole thing, and then it gets a little bit easier. So I left the film still attached. And what that did is just keep it a little buttoned up, so there's less of a chance that dirt can just like wash in. And we're gonna put this on the glass, tuck this in. Gonna have to try the passenger seat install. I'm doing it this way off of a recommendation from another tinter. I would not have thought to do from the passenger side. I don't think getting it started is really any easier, but it puts you in a better spot when you start getting through it. Because you get to this part, and you really need to like pull it back from the windshield and get that liner out of the car. And that's kind of hard to do. I'm gonna grab my other one. Sorry, I'm biased. So I'm gonna get in, and I'm gonna like lean way over. I'm trying as best I can to sit like in the middle, and you just kind of like lean super far forward. But yeah, I started doing reverse rolls on the driver's side. It's like, yeah, because that's where I'm sitting. It makes it easier to get it in place. But then you're in a weird spot. Can you check if my order got packed? Yeah, what's the order number? You'd get a notification as soon as it's got a label. It's a little close. 34330. Hey, did 34330 get packed? Five minutes ago. Yeah, it did? Yeah. Oh. So the guy in chat was just asking if it had been packed. He said he placed it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's halfway through them already.
It's already packed. Oh, fun. The camera did flip. Oh, I placed it yesterday. Yes, it got packed. Okay, see this point right here? Make sure that's tucked. About what? What's wrong? Okay. They said what? Lactose intolerance or something like that? Did they give her milk this morning? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yikes. There we go. What's the best tint brand? Best tint brand is the one that works best for your business. For me, that is GeoShield. What's the percentage? This one is 40. Just wait, just wait. Seems clear. So, 35 and up, when we're working on the inside, it's not going to seem clear in person, but on camera, it's going to seem very light. The camera adjusts for exposure. So when we get in the car, it brightens up. Get out of the car, that's when you really see the magic. What you need. Look like just a little air. That's better. Ooh, shit. Hang on. Should have looked a little closer. I see a little piece of dust. That's never fun. I mean by you can do everything right. Where's that right there? Still get something. It's annoying because it's really hard to see. Right there. You know the worst hairs? The ones that are really hard to see. If it's a big hair, that brushes out so fast. If it's a little one, it's like impossible. Like they're so thin and squirrely. No amount of tape trick is gonna fix that. Yeah, where is that fucker? Right there. There it is. Gotcha, you bitch. Oh, no, I didn't. Shit. I got something else. What is it? This might be done soon. I think I got it. I don't see it. Let's be gentle and cross our fingers now. Oh, yeah. That was all by guessing. Yikes. Now, one little guy right here at the top. That's never fun. So, when it comes to removing stuff, when it's really, really small, it's really frustrating. Because it's so easy to pick up some random shit floating through the air that you don't know about until it's ironed into the window. But the harder that is to reach and get to, the more likely you're gonna have to redo it. But sometimes you get lucky. And you can just gently brush something out. Yeah, I got like similar thing right up here, but we're at the edge. But if we had like a tighter deck lid, right? Tighter panels, all that stuff plays into trying to fix it. So good fucking luck. The teeny tiny, like, the teeny tiny ones are the worst. They just like embed themselves inside the glue, and they're just little eyesores. Oh, I want one. Oh, fucker. Right here. Oh, where is it? Fucker is right there. Can't even see it. Such a fucking waste. How many problems have you had with the water? I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually had water problems. They just don't happen very often. When you work around it, and the other thing is just getting used to like a Facebook group, what to look out for. You can definitely have issues, but the thing is, you don't see all the cars that are successfully tinted every day. You tend to see the problems. So like when one person posts about a car, when two people post about the same type of issue with that car, that's when you really start paying attention to that particular vehicle. Especially with new stuff. Especially with new stuff. But the main things I try and do, cover up the dash, put a rope in there as It's kind of secondary. Yeah, it was just that little fuzz. This side looks great. I want to say the days that we do towels, that's when I'll get a miscellaneous little fuzz like that. It's hard to say for sure. Where's my Slim Slam? Ta-da! But yeah, if whatever you're doing is then giving you problems, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have to change up what you do. So if I was causing problems, it wouldn't make sense for me to keep doing things that way, right? We get another towel. We'll clean off the inside. Full car PPF. I mean, I don't specialize in PPF, so I'll do window tint. If we had somebody that asked about PPF, I'd still say we don't do PPF. Love the new wax squeegees. Oh, nice. Did you use anything? Or, what did you... Wrong question. What did you use before you started using the wax ones? This is one of those things where I'm genuinely not sure. If somebody coming from like a flat out would like it, but somebody that's used the hybrid or the Blue Maxes probably would really like them. Okay, this can go back up. Oops. That pops loose. There's one side. Did you know that popped loose? I did. Let's go pop the other side in. There we go. Ran the hybrid and sometimes the Blue Max, but kept running into issues with the Blue Max Edge being damaged after 2 cars. Did you take it by chance? Like, on the squeegee, was it usually like a little nick right around here? About like half to a full inch inside the squeegee blade, usually here or here? Nice. That looks good. We got it. Yes. I haven't really like pressure tested the wax squeegee blades too closely. That type of nick inside the blade is whenever you're running that over the top edge of the glass, especially on sharper, like laminated windows. So when you clean off a window, we tend to take, whoosh, right? See how that's scraping over the top edge? If this glass is sharp, it's gonna start to dig a little notch into that blade. So the harder the squeegee blade, the quicker that they tend to develop, which is why a hybrid is like really good at dealing with those. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more squishy. Blue Max, a little bit more rigid. But yeah, I'm interested to see how well the wax series, because it's going to be, it's not the same material, but it's like a similar type of feel. It's really, really good. Is it possible to remove a crease? Not really. You can kind of hide them. But there's trade-offs in that. They don't magically melt away like they do with vinyl. Window film is like any sharp bend will show. It like distorts the light, really. It is possible to remove a crease, but depends on the film. So there's 2 sides to that. You have the inside of the glass and you have the outside of the glass, literally. So there we go. So I can press all the air out of a crease. And even if you're really light, you're gonna still see a line on the inside of the window. So yes, you took care of the outside, but you never solved the inside problem. So it depends on like, you know, where that crease really is. So if it were like behind a seal, you would never see it. Yeah, that's another good distinction. It's like, is it when you're shrinking? Or is it after the film's installed? When you're shrinking, you can put a indent into the film that's like, it's kind of a crease, but not exactly the same thing. So you can actually put an air pocket there and reshrink over it. and get it to go away. That's a nifty trick that I didn't learn until like much later. Well, it's like, where is it? Right there. And this gotta go somewhere in here. There we go. These ones are a little bit more funny. They like need to kind of like slide in from the side. There we go. That's better. Do you bottom load for side windows? For side no, I typically two-step. See, we'll take stuff apart. But the more I can leave together and just work around it, that's what I'd rather do. So when I started tinting, that was just, I didn't have the option. That was just how I learned how to tint. So it was later on that I learned and saw videos of people like removing seals. So at no point did I ever just train with anybody on doing that. And it's just one of those things where, like, if you don't need to do it, like, what's the potential trade-off there? And it was just never like a huge thing for me. I want to see you test the Rock Rose ceramic film. Why? Rock Rose is just another how cheap can I get film for brand. Quality wise, there's a post in our Facebook group where somebody put it on their truck and the rear windows faded inside of 6 months into like a red rosy color. I'm just not interested. I want to see like quality wise. See, the annoying problem is it's really hard to demonstrate film failure. So it might shrink okay, and it might look okay. But what you're really asking for is a stamp of approval. And I would just be too sketched out to ever install it. It's just digging bottom of the barrel on film quality. It's no different using that film than it is going on Alibaba and just buying a film from any seller. It's going to be some sketchy, unknown, craptacular. I don't know if it's going to fail type of brand or not. That's what like so many Reeboxes, so many options out there really are. They're just like another price in a box. It's not hard to do. I can make a Rock Rose brand tomorrow. Oh no, it's watching me. But what you really want to do is ask people that have actually been living that brand for a while and what their thoughts on it. Like that goes for any film. Get it, try it, ask other people that actually install it, ask what other films that they've used. And that way you get like a more well-rounded, informed opinion about what you're interested in. But so many people are just looking for a film that says it's amazing with a rock bottom price, and that's what they are. I'm not looking for that because I don't trust those films. I want to tint my windshield in 50, but I don't want to spend like $400 on a full roll of ceramic. I don't have a lot of good answers for you. You could potentially buy a kit. That might save you some money. But actually, get a half roll. Sorry, GeoShield C2 ceramic is going to be under $400, and then you can get whatever shade you want in a half roll. So do that. Oh, that was the thing. Okay, cool. Looks good. I like it. It's done. Alrighty, guys. It's been fun. I gotta go. We'll have another stream. Actually, we got another Model Y this week. We got a few. They're popular right now.